And welcome back. I'm Marcus Peter. I'm blessed to be joined by Paul Propson. He is Executive Director of Catholic Charities of Southeast Michigan, and he joins us to talk about the kind of work they're doing. Paul, thank you for joining us. How are you?
Thank you so much, Marcus. Great.
So share with us about what Catholic Charities does.
Well, Catholic Charities of Southeast Michigan is the arm for the works of mercy of the Church in Detroit. And Archbishop Emeritus Vigneron brought all of the Catholic social services in the 6 counties of the Archdiocese of Detroit together about 15 years ago and formed Catholic Charities of Southeast Michigan to carry on these charitable works under the Church's leadership. So Archbishop Weisenberger serves as our president. Mm-hmm. And so we really work on whatever Archbishop and the Catholic Church in Detroit sees as the works of mercy that are needed right now, wherever we can.
Let's talk about the particular kind of spirituality and doctrinal understanding of how Catholic Charities operates in.
You know, when I started this job 7 years ago, I read Pope Benedict's encyclical Deus Caritas Est, and I was amazed to see how directly he really addresses Catholic Charities. Now, of course, the Church has many ways in which it does charitable work, like Caritas, things overseas. But one of the ways is here in the local church, right? So every bishop in America, or probably throughout the world, is going to have an organization or a ministry like Catholic Charities. And so, and what Pope Benedict says in Deus Caritas Est is it's the bishop's responsibility to care for the poor. And so that's why a bishop needs something like Catholic Charities in order to say, here are the people that are carrying out the work for the poor in my diocese, because I'm responsible for my diocese, for the poor in my diocese. Nobody should be suffering in the Archdiocese of Detroit that the Catholic Church isn't working to reach.
Given that, what are some of the things that Catholic Charities does that helps meet those needs?
Yeah. So for the longest time, the historical way that first Catholic Social Services and then Catholic Charities was meeting those needs was for the children who are orphaned, right, or who through abuse can no longer be with their parents. So child welfare, foster care, and adoption was almost the very beginning of Catholic charitable work in our region, let's say. Also, of course, the Catholic hospitals formed, the hospital systems, which we know today wouldn't exist if it weren't for Catholic sisters who really pioneered that. Now, we work through 2 clinics. We partner with 2 clinics, Cabrini Clinic in Detroit and Malta Free Medical and Dental Clinic. So they're independent organizations, but we partner with them. So also we do a lot of mental health services ourselves. So whereas when it comes to the health care, we partner for medical, but we directly provide behavioral health services. We have many therapists who are helping people with, of course, depression and anxiety, which is so common today, but also with substance use treatment issues. So Catholic Charities of Southeast Michigan has several offices here in the Archdiocese you can go to for help for that. We do adult daycare. You know, one of the programs I love the most is our adult daycare program, which is in which our team provides a loving environment for people with dementia or people who are frail, whose loved ones are caring for them, but trying to keep them in their home. So you can age in your home with your family members, but you can also have a place like Catholic Charities Adult Day Services to go during the day. We go and pick you up and bring you to be around others, do activities, and have loving people care for you, feed you, and then you can go back to your home where your caregiver, loved one maybe, who you're aging in their home. You know, it could be a spouse, could be a parent-child relationship. They can work, they can carry on a job, they can do errands because they rely on Catholic Charities Adult Day Services to be with their loved one during the day. So that's one of our great programs. We now do many food programs. So, of course, many people are vulnerable to hunger. And so we have support food pantries and we operate food pantries. We actually operate 2 soup kitchens, the All Saints Soup Kitchen and the St. Leo Soup Kitchen. So food is one of the ways that Catholic Charities of Southeast Michigan ministers to people in need as well. And we have a number of other smaller programs, diverse programs throughout the 6 counties, but those are the ones that I would most bring attention to.
Who, just for the sake of our listeners, so they understand the broad reach of Catholic Charities, who is open to access for these services?
Yeah. So you can find our listing of services at our website, which is ccsem.org. And
which
of
is
course,
Catholic Charities of Southeast Michigan.
Exactly, yeah. Catholic Charities of Southeast Michigan. But they're available to anybody, of course. We don't do... we don't filter people out based on income. We don't filter people out based on insurance. Everything we offer to everyone. And of course, there are things we don't do today that we'd like to do in the future. So we work together with many other charitable organizations, especially Catholic charitable organizations, and we don't want to replicate what they're doing. We want to complement. So when there's a great program in, say, Monroe or Port Huron or Macomb County, we wouldn't ever impose on that. But if there's a gap, if there's a place where people are suffering and there's a need that we can fill, then we'll be working to work with donors to kind of say, how can we do this new thing that's needed? So, for example, one of the ways that we did that was we had a real gap in the city of Detroit where there was not a Catholic Charities program, but there was a lot of homeless individuals in need. There's a lot of programs that serve the homeless in Detroit, but there's especially by our Blessed Sacrament Cathedral, there was a real gap. So by opening a Center for the Works of Mercy there, that's open to everyone, we are able to provide food and clothing and case management services. Mailboxes, one of the things that we do for the homeless is they need a place to receive their mail. They need a friend. We have a chapel there, or we have a prayer room, but we're working to become an oratory. The Archbishop has approved an oratory there. And finally, the Malta Free Medical and Dental Clinic is there. So it's become a place for many people to get care, and anyone can come there. One of the things I'd like to say, though, is one of the gaps we're filling that we've recognized, and we really felt the Holy Spirit calling us to, is to create a place for people to serve and love their neighbor. Bishop Flores was just speaking here at the event, Rising from the Ashes, about the Good Samaritan. And we need a neighbor when we have fallen and been attacked by robbers, but we can also be a neighbor. And Jesus calls us in Matthew 25 to be a neighbor, to feed the hungry, clothe the naked. And we can become so isolated in our own concerns, our job, our family, that we don't look for ways to be a neighbor. So for everyone within the sound of my voice here, if you're looking for a place to love and serve your neighbor, to find new neighbors in need, come to Catholic Charities of Southeast Michigan, go to ccsem.org, because we need you to come and love and serve your neighbors, Christ in need, and we know you need it too. If Jesus gives us a command to feed him when he's hungry, and we don't know how to do that, we might need an organization to help us have a safe place to put a meal together or greet someone. One of my favorite things that I have done is to go to the soup kitchen with my kids and help prepare meals. But also what we do at the soup kitchen, we eat the meals together with the folks who are guests, right? So you get to have a conversation with someone and you see that while the food is of great value to them, the relationship is tremendous value. And to be seen, to have someone know your name and to care about you and ask you your story, to pray for you. These are things that everyone needs. And also, as a Christian, we need to find an outlet for the love that Jesus is calling us to.
Paul, I want to say thank you so much for joining us and talking about this. We've been talking with Paul Propson, and he is the Executive Director of Catholic Charities of Southeast Michigan, and he's just been laying out for us all these things that Catholic Charities does that many of us don't know about, and that we can either share with people who might be in need of these services, or there are certain services that we might be interested in that we might be open to, but more than anything, to be of service to and to volunteer. Stay tuned. I'm Marcus Peter.